Well, that was pretty cool.
What's up, everybody? Mike here with SCHEELS Outdoors, and it is Christmas in July. And I'm saying that because it's finally trail camera season. So this video, we're gonna put out 4 different cameras on 3 different hunting properties. This one here is in north central Minnesota. We've got 80 acres of river bottom, and as you can see, there's a nice lush bean field right behind us. So this is a great spot for a camera because they're going to be hitting them beans throughout the summer months. They're going to be getting out of the woods, getting away from the bugs, feeding on that forage, that nice green forage. So that's going to be a spot for the first camera. So first things first though, make sure, especially with these cellular cameras, that you have them set up, firing properly, so you're ready to go. You don't run into any troubles when you're out here in the field. So I went and I set up this camera at home last night, made sure to download the app, ready to go. So without further ado, let's go set this first one up. Okay, we made it to our first spot, and the camera we're gonna put here is the Spypoint Flex G36. We got a really great video editor here who's gonna show you all of the specs on this camera. So, reason I chose the Spypoint G36 Flex on this spot is a couple reasons. So, first of all, I've been using this camera for about 2 years now, and I love it. Gone are the days of having to take your SD card out, download firmware updates, put them back in the camera, hope it works. Everything is updated from the app now. You just go, automatic updates on the app. App is great. I love the trigger speeds of this camera, and my favorite thing is the photo quality straight to your phone. So I'm putting it in this spot because I'm overlooking a bean field. So we're gonna potentially have some deer a little bit further away. So I'm gonna get some really crystal clear photos. You can always export them to HD too, and you are good to go. So this spot, I'll give you a little rundown on it. So we're on the south edge of the field. We've got bedding behind us. We got the bean field in front of us. Camera's gonna be pointed north. So then we're not gonna mess with any sunrises or sunsets, messing up our photo. And as you can see behind me, I've got a little rock pile out in the field. The deer use that as a sort of navigation point, and we'll see them coming out to this edge all the time. We've also got a really nice oak tree that I'm gonna actually put this camera on. That's gonna be a magnet for deer once it starts dropping acorns in like late August, early September. So it's also got some overhanging branches. We'll likely put a ground scrape there so we can get photos from 3 different ways, all in that same spot. Already been seeing some deer tracks here too, so I'm looking forward to seeing what's gonna be on this camera. Okay, this camera is set up and ready to go. One last thing you want to consider is your surroundings. So everything in front is pretty good. Beans are going to start growing up, but they're not going to obstruct views. We've got leaves are pretty well cleared. The only thing to consider lastly is the overhanging branches. So some days it's going to be windy, might trigger, so then you can adjust your sensitivity right on the app. All right, we made it to spot number 2, and I am super glad I brought my bug spray because we are in the middle of the woods and it is hot and it is not as windy and the bugs are nasty. But here we are, getting ready to put out our second camera. This one, we are going with the Tactacam. I have the Reveal X 2.0. A couple of great Tactacam options are the Reveal X 2.0 and the Reveal X Pro. The things I really like about the Tactacam line of products is they are just an absolute bulletproof camera. Super intuitive, app is easy, trigger speeds are great, photo quality is great. I've had 0 problems whatsoever with any of the Tactacams I've been running over the past probably 3 or 4 years. X Pro is really nice because they finally come out with a video screen to go along with it. This setup, back in the woods, we've got a nice trail system that we've established, and we've mowed it down, plowed it, and planted clover. So we got a nice clover plot that's sort of a staging area going to that soybean field that's to the north of us. I've got a really nice tree here set up right on the edge of this trail system that's kind of curving a little bit so I can see a long ways behind me. Beauty about cell cameras is this property is 2.5 hours away from my house, so I don't want to touch this thing at all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this Reveal X, and I'm going to run a solar panel. So I'm going to have this thing out snapping pictures the entire year. I'm not going to have to touch it at all. So let's get this thing set up. Okay, so now we've got the solar panel set up here. You can see that at this point of the day, it is getting right on that solar panel, so it's charging nice. We've got it on full right now, hooked up to the camera. I've got these cords kind of tucked in with the straps, so everything's nice and tight. Got it pointed out towards this little clover plot that's a transition to that larger bean field. Now all I've got to do is clear a little bit of this brush so we don't get any obstruction there, turn the camera on, and we are ready to go. All right, here we are, third spot, and as you can tell, there's some elevation change here. We are on a different property, probably an hour away. This is a smaller piece, about 20 acres or so, but this is a piece that'll prove it's where you are, not how big your piece is. So this spot, we're putting out the Tactacam Fusion X. And what I love about this camera is that its ability to transfer video on the app. The app is really nice, super intuitive. You can define your target animals, and setup is just an absolute breeze. Probably one of the easiest and most user-friendly apps. Big QR code right behind the batteries. Scan that, walks you through the entire thing. Absolutely love this camera. Reason that I am putting the camera right here is because it's a big intersection of a bunch of different trails, whether it's walking paths or deer trails, and it's kind of a great little pinch point. We've got bedding to this side, we've got a big bean field to that side, and we've got a couple of core bedding areas over there. So it's kind of just some natural movement, and they're funneled in this area. So got a nice tree right there that I'm gonna set it on, capture everything coming out in front of me. Here I am at the final property. This is actually my hometown, my parents' place. And as you can see, this is a super easy access spot. It's right by a pond, so it's the only water within probably a mile or so. And we've got a mineral site that we've had established for a long time. I mean, deer have been hitting this forever. So since it's such an easy access spot, we're gonna go a traditional camera in this route. So we got the Browning Dark Ops. Love this camera because of the infrared capabilities. Totally blacked out, deer are not gonna see a flash or anything like that. It's got adjustable trigger speed, and it's just a rock solid camera. I mean, Browning has made a wonderful camera for many, many years now, very well trusted. And we're gonna get this one set up in this spot, see what happens. Then one last thing I'd like to mention for spots like this, especially if baiting is legal in your state, is the use of multiple cameras. So oftentimes if you're doing a lot of disturbance, like whether it's you know, putting in a mineral site, laying down a bunch of bait. Deer have different attitudes. Some will just not tolerate that kind of pressure. Some will be kind of curious. So one thing you can do on that is you can go and you can put another camera, say like put another one 40 yards away in a spot like that where bucks will come and investigate a little bit but not commit all the way. You can find some new bucks with some different attitudes that you never would have gotten on your bait or mineral sites. There you have it. We've got 4 cameras out, 4 different properties, 4 different styles of putting them out, 4 different areas. So hopefully you found this beneficial. If you're interested in any of the cameras, make sure to check them out at your local SCHEELS store or online at SCHEELS.com. And if you like what you saw, make sure to subscribe to this. Follow along on our social channels, Instagram and Facebook. We'll be giving updates for what we're seeing from these cameras. Hopefully we get a continued story. You know, maybe I can put a tag on a buck. So with that, thanks for watching.